Hello everyone and welcome to our class this morning. Thank you for joining. You can start off by coming into your comfortable seat and whatever that might look like for you this morning. Some of us, since we're privileged to be in our homes, we can sit up against a wall if we need to. Others of us, we may opt to sit up on a cushion. You can sit cross-legged. And if you're really limited in your ability to sit, you can always sit on the edge of a chair. All right, so I think we'll start off with a chant today. You might hear our little kitty is behind us, kicking around on the plastic box, so we'll try and balance that out with some chanting. You can just go ahead and close down your eyes and relax for a few moments. Allowing the breath to come in and out through the nose. And the breath is this unique phenomena in the body where the more that we relax, the more smooth the breath becomes. It's unique in the sense that it's always flowing. We don't have to control the breath at any time. And it's really one of the most apparent reminders of how we get back home to a sense of greater peace and greater ease. And the breath reflects it so quickly as we begin to soften our muscles, as we begin to soften our hearts, and even let go of a gripping sensation in the mind. The breath immediately begins to reflect the change in our consciousness, and it becomes more fluid, more melodious. And you might take special notice to your breath in this class today and the ways that it starts to change as we are exploring different situations, different positions in the body, different emotions. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a lot like a cat where when it's forced to do something, it typically resists and it gets more bound up or, runs away. Versus when you just allow the breath to flow in its own accord and you stay relaxed and patient, that's when it begins to expand, when it begins to soften and deepen. Or for dog lovers, it's like when you try and chase a dog and a dog just runs away from you. But if you just stay still and calm, gently calling, they come. And we're going to have a chant this morning for Ananda Ma, which she is known as the joy permeated saint. She's often depicted in one of her bhavs, or a bhav is a spiritual sort of trance of emotion and energy and devotion. And so this chant is dedicated to her. Her name's Ananda Ma. And we're taught on this path that if we can attune our consciousness by either the chanting of a name or even just the thought or the picture of a saint, that we are immediately drawing blessings to ourselves. So you might feel her presence in your practice today, even if you don't know what she looks like. Just pray, send good, loving vibrations through your chanting. If you know the chant, feel free to join in. Otherwise, you can feel that our words are yours. Together and join in singing Om. So when you're ready, chant with us. With the awareness centered in the heart to feel the effects of the chanting. If your posture has softened in any way, just lift tall with the crown of the head. Slowly flutter your eyes open as you're ready. So we're going to come up to standing to start in our practice today. Just make a little adjustment here. So good morning to everyone. Let's just take a little wiggle in the body. So just kind of wiggle the legs, wiggle the hands, the arms. Soften the shoulders. Head side to side a little bit. Good. Then you could take feet a little bit wider than your hips as you're ready. And we're going to inhale and sweep up the arms here. And let's interlace the fingers and soften the shoulders. And then turn the palms up and go ahead and press them up to the sky. Nice deep breath in. And then bend the elbows and slide the hands down, out and around. Good. Let's inhale, sweep the hands up through the belly and set them right under the shoulders. So we're going to take some strong inhalations. Double inhale through the nose. We're going to sweep the elbows forward. And then exhale from the heart. Again. And from the heart. One more time. And release. Good. You can release the arms down. Oh, I'm feeling a little more low body opening here. So, a little ants in your pants. Just wiggle hips side to side, bend your knees. Nice deep breath. And then a little bit of bouncing here. So the best part of the bouncing, good for bone density. Let your whole body be slackened here. So relax your muscles. Shannon and I are kind of doing the Charlie Brown dance over here, turning side to side. So you're just bouncing. Let the muscles kind of shake off of the bone a little bit. Nice and heavy. Good. Invigorating the body a little bit. All right, let's stop and then inhale and sweep up. Very gentle exhale, slide the hands down through the heart, release down by the hips. Just close the eyes for a moment, see if you can feel the invigoration of the little vibration through the body. Nice deep breath. Good, let's flutter the eyes back open. Inhaling, we'll bend knees slightly and sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through the heart. And what we're doing in this practice, we're listening for the breath, and then the movement follows the breath. So we feel the inhalation, and you know you're doing this practice right when the limbs start to feel very light. Even the whole body starts to become lighter as we listen for breath. And then the movement follows. And even deeper, listen for energy. As the energy rises, the inhale draws in. Then the arms get lifted. And then you can soften down. And this is how we'll practice today. Becoming aware of the energy flowing in the body and allowing that to inform our movements and our exploration. And the next time that you're centered down low here, let's go ahead and we'll come into a Garudasana or eagle's pose. So you can inhale and open the arms nice and wide, then we'll bend at the elbows. Good. And let's actually just take a little bend of the knees, take a nice deep breath. And then exhale and come back to standing. You can center whichever arm you'd like on top first. For sensitive shoulders, hold onto your shoulders and just rest here. For anybody else, you can match back sides of the palms, maybe even wrap the hands a little bit. So we're gently going to sit down into our seat. The leg that you cross is whichever arm is on top. So for me, I have my right arm. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. So you end into a little balancing Garudasana pose. Breathing nice and deep here. The affirmation at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. The affirmations in our practice help us to channel the consciousness that each of these postures naturally awakens within us, So repeating the affirmation either out loud or silently within. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. One more time, feeling in the heart early in the practice. At the center of life's storms, I stand serene. And when you're ready to exit, you unstep the legs and center back underneath the hips. And then go ahead and just slide the hands to the shoulders, and you're going to brush any energy off the shoulders and the arms, release, and then refresh with deep breath as we come back up. Let's center hands down into the heart. Take a moment here to feel a sense of awakening in your spine and your heart. Inner gaze at the point between your two eyebrows. All right, when you're ready, you can open the eyes, and we'll inhale, opening arms to either side. So even before you bend the elbows, open the wingspan, so reach as far as you can, then bend elbows, and we go to opposite side, whichever one that is for you. Simplest version is to hold your shoulders, and in this version, pull down on your shoulders and try to touch the crown of your head towards the sky. If you're matching palms, you can do backside or wrap around. And again, you're crossing the leg of the top arm. Make it a little easy how to remember in the pose. And we start to descend down. Very important, relax your shoulders. Remember the analogy that we started with in our breath. That it's only through greater relaxation that we find deeper flexibility. And we'll repeat the affirmation, at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. I like to imagine that my legs and my arms are those storms, whirling and twisted, yet my spine is central, calm, standing serene. Nice deep breath here. For anyone with bound hands, you can touch your thumb to the point between your two eyebrows as a nice little inquiry here. We're just resting in the pose. If you feel that you need to come out now, feel free. Anybody else, you might take another breath or two. When you are coming out, you're unstepping the leg, getting centered down into your foundation again. So use this opportunity to draw whatever's in the shoulders and literally release it from the arms and inhale that freshness of vitality and breath back into the arms. Hands down into the heart center. Feel your shoulders relax and filled with a great sense of rejuvenating energy as you relax and feel. And then you could slowly open the eyes again. So in between our next posture, we're just going to hold onto our elbows here, making a little bind, and row your arms around in a circle. And this is a great way that we can start to flush out the shoulder joint. You may have sensitivities in your shoulders, so you just lovingly sort of row like you're rocking the baby up and around. You can even keep, I know nobody rocks babies up above their head, but you can rock side to side. And then you can go ahead and release that. Let's take one more round here, just holding onto the shoulders. Go ahead and take a nice deep inhale. You might even lift your shoulders up or lift your elbows up. And then we're going to go down and just brush it off. Release that energy. And then inhale with a fresh supply of energy. Exhaling, hands into the heart. We'll do it one more time. Holding onto the shoulders. And this is all the times that we said we should have been or we should have done something a certain way. Let's take a nice deep breath and we'll lift. And then exhale, release through the mouth and brush that right off your shoulders. And then float back up with the inhale. Feeling free from those energies of should. We just accept life as it is, lovingly. Let's come into Muktasan. After we release all those shoulds, we should have some freedom in our lives. So you can step one of your feet a little bit back, and your front leg stays bent knee, equal distribution of weight. When you're ready to, inhale, sweep the arms up in front, and then lift up above the head. Remember, these affirmations are representative of a living reality. So feel the affirmation as a state of being, coming first into the heart and then lifting up the spine. So we're repeating the affirmation, I am free. I am free. And keep repeating that affirmation until it transforms from just words, just a pretending, to this dawning within you that, oh, I am free. I am free. I am free. And what a joy it is. Good. We may revisit the pose. Let's take hands down into the heart. And you just take a gentle step into your neutral asana, resting with hands in the heart or down by the hips. Your choice here. Just close the eyes for a moment and lift the energy to the point between the two eyebrows. Feeling on inhale, energy's rising up the spine. Exhale, it's expanding, rising and expanding. And then we'll flutter the eyes open, come right to the other side. So you just step your left foot back this time, and a little bend in the front knee. Your back leg is like a telephone pole, so slide the knee up into the thigh and get nice and strong here. And then you sweep the arms out and then up and above. Now you reach energetically through the arms, but let the physical arm slide down into its shoulder joint. And there's a little bit of an arch from the low spine up into the thoracic or the upper part of your back. If you have shoulder sensitivity, hands can be right inside of the heart. And we repeat the affirmation, I am free. I am free. I am free. What a joy it is. I am free. There's this little dawning that you are free. Relax into your freedom. Taking another few breaths. The body is active. You're still reaching. And your fingers, like little lightning rods, you're conducting that freedom down into your body. When you're ready to descend, hands come into the heart, and we take a loving step forward to the front of our mat. You can pause here with hands in prayer or release them down by the hips. Either way, you want to feel with this very gentle back bend that the channel of your spine is beginning to open and that energy starts lifting and rising. I am free. I am free. Okay, and we're going to come into pyramids pose. So you're at the front of your mat, and you might take a little bit further step back. If you tend to have sensitivities in the hips, keep your gait a little bit shorter. But for those of us that want to go a little further and we get a little more bold in our pyramid, feel free. Now in your pyramids pose, your back foot is slightly angled, but you want to keep your hips centered forwards. We're going to start in the active version. Start by lengthening your spine and just bridging your hands over a straightened front leg. And this is a wonderful way to start to lift through the low spine. You lift up through crown of the head, and you can breathe here for several breaths. You may want to start to engage the muscles of the belly to support your low spine. We're breathing here, nice deep breath. And I love the affirmation for this pose because it goes right along with our activity of the pose. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. So when you're ready to offer yourself fully, you start to bow the body forwards. Hips go back as you bow forward. You may feel a little opening through back side of the knee. If you have a free hand, feel free to rub here just to let the body know that it's safe, it's okay. And if you can go a little bit further, you might walk past the knee. Some of us get down to ankle, others of us to the floor. Wherever you get to, try to bow the head down. Release the back of the neck and the head. Even if it means that your spine is a little round, just take a respite in the pose. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Let's come back into the active phase as you come and lift. Stay strong in your left leg. Inhale, nice long spine forwards here. Some of us don't need our hands, and we can place them into the center of the heart. Now, others of us with openness in our shoulders can take a reverse prayer behind the heart. It's just an option, not a requirement. And then you start to fold yourself forward. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Keep breathing, trusting. When you're ready to rise out of the pose, remember you can stay in these postures for several more breaths. I like to bend the front knee and then walk myself up the body here. And then we take a big step or several steps all the way to the front of the mat. And let's sweep the arms and come into a little back bend. With that forward fold, it's wonderful to counter with a back bend. So just reach the arms slightly behind the head. Nice deep breath. And then you can come back to neutral and just rest here and feel all of that wonderful opening happening in the body. Especially on the left side of your body. Lift the energy to the point between the two eyebrows, looking up and out. In this way, any energy that's ready to shift is welcomed to the liberation point. You can open your eyes as you're ready, and we'll just come right to the other side. So this time, left foot stepping back. And remember, you can go a little further if you'd like. And your leg is relatively straight. Just make sure that you have some engagement in your knee, especially if you're very flexible. And then slowly, you just start to bow over this front leg. Hips are facing forwards, and you're folding like a blanket. And then stay in the active phase for a few breaths here. So the belly muscles are holding you. And the low back, despite its engagement, is sort of light and free. Think lightness in the body, crown of the head reaching. And we're preparing to offer ourselves fully into the flow of grace. So when you're ready, you can bow the head. Right, and we know in this tradition that at the base of our skull, top of the spine, is the entrance point of that graceful energy. So how beautiful this affirmation is. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. By bowing your head down, you are softening the muscles in the medulla and opening to that flow of grace. We really are offering ourselves fully into grace. When you're ready, you can come up for another round here. So inhaling is a good chance for you to feel the spine energizing. It also strengthens and tones your body. Don't be afraid to put weight on your hands if you're still building strength for the pose. Just keep shoulders away from the ears. This is a protective measure when we start to shrug our shoulders. So keep them relaxed. Remind the body that it's safe, and then we'll descend down for our final round. Feel free to rub the back of the knee if it's particularly sensitive in the pose. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. So make sure to bow the head wherever you arrive into the pose. Not forcing, but just like our little parable in the start, waiting patiently with calm breath. When you're ready to rise, start to bend the front knee a little bit, and this will help you to stack your body gently. And then you take 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 steps to the front of the mat. Let's just inhale, bend the knees and sweep the arms to invite fresh, full breath into the body, and then relax the hands down into the heart. You can relax hands by the hips. It's just a preference here. Energy rising back to the point between the 2 eyebrows. Now visit the right side of the body, doing a visual or mental scan. Nice deep breathing here. You can slowly flutter the eyes open as you're ready. So we're going to come into sort of the next inevitable step from a pyramid's pose, which will come into the full triangle pose. So take a full step back here, maybe 3 or even 4 feet. You're keeping the front leg straight, and we're starting with right foot back. And you just take your hand, take the thumb, or this inside area between thumb and forefinger, and press on into the hip a little bit. And what this will do is relax the hip flexor so that you can lean a little bit more forward. Then you can slide your hand down. Some of us will use our hand and we'll keep slight bend in the knee, and then we'll just send the opposite arm up to the sky. And this is our triangle for today. Others of us, we flip the back side of our palm towards our front extended leg. Keep reaching to the sky. The energy of this pose is reaching upward. If anyone wants to slide past the knee and go down towards the ankle, you find whatever variety of a triangle that you are looking for. Nice deep breathing here. The affirmation for this pose is wonderful. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. Energy and joy flood my body cells. So stay energized in the pose. Joy descends to me. Energy and joy flood my body cells. And feel that sense of flooding as your breath is flushing into the parts of the body challenged by the pose. A nice way to come out of triangle pose is to come right into side angle. So just bend your front knee, rest your forearm, and some of us will even rest our top hand on our heart to take a break, or you can reach up and over, palm facing down, into our side angle pose. And it goes right along with this triangle pose affirmation. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Wow. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. All right, when you're ready to release, we'll come back to the side angle pose later, but let's just go ahead and stand up out of our pose. We're in our warrior 2 stance, and then you just sort of step your way nice and gentle all the way to the front of your mat. And close the eyes, lift the gaze to the spiritual eye, and feel that wonderful sense of opening happening on the left side of the body. And remember the affirmation, energy and joy flood my body cells. What does that feel like in your body? Energy and joy flood my body cells. When you're ready, slowly opening eyes. We'll come right for the other side. So it can be nice to hold onto your hips and take maybe 1 step back or 2 step back till you get into a nice wide gate for your pose here. So straightening your front leg. Remember to take the inside of the hand here and just go ahead and press into the hip a little bit. And it helps to just soften that hip flexor. And this may afford you to just touch onto the thigh. Some of us hold like this and we come into our triangle. And this is a beautiful expression. Others of us want to start with the back side of the palm. Now the beauty in this is that as you press off of the leg, it encourages the chest to lift open, the heart. Some of us will slide down. If you're looking to tone the body, sort of hover in place and breathe slow and steady. And this pose is very invigorating. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. If you can look up to your top hand without sort of getting into an uncomfortable place in your neck, feel free. But if it is uncomfortable, better to stay relaxed in the version that's available. Now try to give equal love on both sides. That means we're staying here for several more breaths, breathing. Energy and joy flood my body cells. Joy descends to me. What does that feel like in the body right now? Whenever you need to exit the pose, we're all meeting in side angle pose, but stay in triangle if you can and breathe. When you do make it to side angle pose, the top palm is facing down. You're reaching up overhead. If you have shoulder sensitivity, just hold onto the heart space. And the affirmation for our side angle pose: I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Wow. Has anyone ever told you that in your life before? I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. We're affirming soul qualities here. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. When you need to rise, feel free. Do it very gently and relaxed. If you can stay a few more breaths, stay in the pose. You slowly rise when you're ready. Take a little step, maybe several steps, and you come all the way back to standing. Let's just sweep the arms to draw a deep inhalation in. And then exhale, descend, hands down into the heart. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. All the energy rising to the spiritual eye. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. All right, eyes flutter open. Last of our standing poses. Let's come into Utkatasana. And we're going to, if you can, just a little bend in the knees. Try to keep your hips underneath your shoulders here. So in this lineage of teaching, it's a little different than what we're used to, where we're pushing our butt out, but you're sort of just sinking down into your chair. Some of us can lift onto the toes, and we just lift the heels, and this will strengthen the whole chain of the legs from the feet to the ankles to the calves, knees, and thighs. You might like to lift for a minute and then come back and down. Good. So when you're ready, you can extend your palms out forwards, and you might feel the belly wall is going to start to squeeze, and if it's not, train the body to engage in this pose. Nice and stable here, just like you're hovering on a chair. Good. All right, so we'll come into the pose again, but let's inhale and reach up and just stand straight. And then when you're ready to descend down into the pose, exhale and descend down and sit into the pose. The affirmation as you look forwards with gaze gently lifted: my body is no burden, I am light as air. My body is no burden, I am light as air. If you'd like to come down further, anyone is welcome. As some of us know, this pose goes all the way down to the floor. That's not available to every one of our bodies. My body is no burden, I am light as air. My body is no burden. I am light as air. Start to feel the affirmation. At some point you notice the breath begins to change, and you really do start to find a place in the posture where your energy is so efficient that you start to feel light and free. My body is no burden. I am light as air. Try to smile at the very least in the pose, and you know that you're keeping that energetic flow open. When you're ready to stand, you just stand in your fullness. Lift the heart. Lift through the solar plexus and guide that energy from the legs up the spine to the point between your two eyebrows. We're relaxing and feeling, watching the body adjusting. My body is no burden. It is light as air. Think what a blessing it is to just have this affirmation in your life, where so many people feel their body as such a burden. My body is no burden. I am light as air. And on a deeper level, this affirmation reminds us of our true body, which is the soul. When you're ready, you can slowly flutter the eyes, and let's go ahead and wake the body, extending arms, reach them up into the sky. And we're going to exhale, slide into a standing mountain, palms together, elbows slightly bent. If you have challenges with your shoulders, just keep hands right in the heart center. Good. And we're going to repeat the affirmation for mountain pose while we stand. The affirmation: my thoughts and energy rise up to meet the sky. My thoughts and energy rise up to meet the sky. When you're ready, go ahead and seal the mountain hands right down to the center of the spine, past the heart. We'll release the hands. We're going to come all the way down to the ground. So creator's choice. You're welcome to go ahead and sweep the arms up and then take your bow forwards and hang for a moment in forward fold. Some of us lower down onto hands and knees from here. Others of us like to sort of crawl into a downward facing dog. And we all meet down onto hands and knees in your own timing. Good. We're going to release up into a sunbird. So send your left hand in front and your right foot back behind you. We're going to lift our back leg. If you can muster the strength to do so, and your opposite arm reaching forwards. Good. This is a great posture for activating some of the fire in the solar plexus. And we don't want this fire to burn us or turn into anger or frustration, but it's a calm fire. Think like a purple flame just burning gently, burning away old, tired energy, emotions that no longer serve our joyful nature, negative thoughts, just burning away in the body. And we're smiling, feeling the wonderful lightness that replaces those heavy feelings in the body. You come down when you need to. Come right to the other side, relieving the pressure on that other side, and reach up. So right hand forward, left foot back. Now it can be helpful to look over the top edge of your mat at least, and this will keep your energy flowing up the spine. You're going to have to engage the belly a little bit here. Toes of your back foot should be flexing towards the face. And there's this special little point at the very base of your spine. It's called Mula Bandh. And it's in the pelvic floor. Just squeeze in the pelvic floor gently, and you'll feel an upward rush of energy through the spine. Nice deep breathing. Good. Relax into that purification. Let it take you right past the threshold. Not in a perturbing way. When you're ready, you set that side down. Feel free to take another few breaths. We're going to take knees a little bit wider than we're used to. Hands one step forward, and then start to circle in the hips. And we'll flush any energy that may have been stirred from the pose in the hips. Good. Make sure to release the shoulders, the head, and the neck, and just let the whole body start to sort of soften here. Big sweeping breaths, diaphragmatic breathing, meaning that you're breathing by releasing the belly and drawing the breath deep into the body. You can really get to know your spine in this very simple exploration. Try rolling the belly up into the spine and then dropping down, almost like a cat-cow, but moving in the opposite direction than we're used to. Good. We're going to come right into Ustrasana, or camel pose. When you're ready, rise up onto the knees. So let it be smooth. Once you rise onto your knees, just take a moment here to sort of gather the muscle of your glutes. And you can set hands on the top side of your hips. And this is a great place to start for many of us. And we just start to sort of pull the shoulders closer together in a gentle way. And this opens the heart energy. Now, very important here in the solar plexus region, this pose is greatly awakening the center. Feel that there's an upward lift, not only on the front side of your body, but on the back side, like someone was sort of pulling your whole torso up a little taller. For anyone that would like to try the full version, if you desire to do so, the real test is if it's safe for you. Can you hold onto your heels and then release your hips up as such? I'm personally not a fan of sort of hovering one arm down and then the other. It puts your back in a very strange position. The affirmation: with calm faith, I open to thy light. Also common you see in the camel pose is people just sort of dump their head all the way backwards. If you want to strengthen your neck in the pose, tuck your chin and try to reach the crown of the head backwards further, but never allow the neck to spill backwards and fold. The affirmation: with calm faith, I open to thy light. With calm faith, I open to thy light. So when you feel you need to exit the pose, you're most welcome to. So if you're in the first version, it's sort of easy to just release the hips, release the hold of the hands. If you were lifted in the second version, just bow your hips back and then release hands out of the way. We're going to slide our feet out of the way and take our counter pose as Paschimottanasana, or the forward folding pose. If you have a blanket, take your blanket and sit on the edge of it, and this will help to take your pelvis and turn it forwards a little bit more. Good. For anyone familiar with this pose, feel free to dive right in, but if you need a little bit of help here, for some of us it's very challenging to lift our arms up, and we just take our hands and seat them down by our hips. I'll show you from the side. And you just hold your hands to the sides here and try to keep your heart lifted in the pose. Your toes are pointing up to the sky. Some of us want to strengthen hands. You can come on the tips of the fingers and you just start to walk your hands and bow your heart forwards more. The beauty of this pose is that deeper progress, deeper forward folding is truly only available through greater relaxation. You cannot force your way into this pose. It really preserves the ideals of yoga despite the modern practice styles. Now, if you feel like you can walk your hands past your hips, just be mindful of the low spine here. We're sort of wanting to fold. Remember when we pushed into our hip crease in another pose? We're folding our heart forwards here. And this can take years and years of practice, so don't feel that you need to be able to fold as deeply as you see on the screen. Now, if anyone can get to their toes, there's a great little mudra that we can do. You take your two first fingers and you wrap them around the big toe, and then you take your thumbs and press the toenail. Now, as you push your toes into your fingers, pull your fingers on your toes. And you'll notice as you breathe, there might be like a centimeter more of room here. At some point, you can bow the head. Just make sure that you take time in this expansive aspect of the pose, and then you can bow the head and round the back and just settle in. One final little cue before our affirmation. Mula Bandha is especially helpful in this pose. Again, this is the muscles of the pelvic floor, and you just gently begin to squeeze that muscle. It lifts up and into the body. The affirmation, with all of your energy centered at the point between the two eyebrows, feel the affirmation: I am safe. I am sound. All good things come to me. And what consciousness do we need to reside in where that affirmation becomes a living reality, where I am safe, I am sound, all good things come to me? A perfect balance to our camel pose affirmation. With calm faith, I open to thy light. They go hand in hand. Calm faith leads to feeling safe and sound. I understand this is not everyone's favorite pose. For some of us, we could stay here for such a long time and just sort of really settle into the energy of the spine, the upward rising current to the brain. If this is not your favorite pose and you're ready to slowly unravel out of the pose, feel free. We're going to go ahead and rise up, and you can bend your knees. And we'll come into a gentle twisting pose. So let's take our left foot and slide it underneath the body. And then you can take your other foot and either pull it towards you and stay here, or some of us have the space to step over on that foot. And then we'll inhale and reach out, extending our arm off to the side. And then you can go ahead and wrap around the front. Just in case you're looking at the screen wondering why Shannon and I are facing opposite directions, I'm mirroring the posture for you guys. And it's very important to sit nice and tall in the spine here. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. This pose reflects the natural generosity of the heart and has a beautiful affirmation. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Keep breathing, nice long, transformative breath. When you're ready, a very gentle release of the pose. Take at least a breath as you come through the release. Nice, gentle, and then unstep your foot and just hold steady here with sitting tall in the spine. So we're going to come right into a bowl pose. So you can take your tucked foot here right into the center and just lean off to your side, and we'll fold our other leg behind us. It's okay if your hips don't sit flush on the ground. Now your back foot may be pointed out to the side. If you can tuck it behind, some of our bodies allow for that. So just find what you're ready for here. We're going to inhale and sweep the arms up. Sit nice and tall in your spine, and you're going to find your twist over to the side. Nice deep breathing here. Some of us like the active version of this pose where you press onto your back arm and you lift your hips and send your other arm up to the sky. You're most welcome to dive into this expression, or you can stay just as you are. Turning over towards the left side of the room. You're ready to exit the pose. It's very gradual. You just lean off to the side and go ahead and set your feet out nice and long here with gentle bent knees. And then we'll just set for the other side, so tucking the foot behind. And then either stepping straight up here and lengthening the spine, or if you can step over. Going to extend the right arm out nice and long and then wrap around. Back hand goes behind the body, and you can press off that hand. Some of us like to really sort of fold this front leg in towards the body. Repeating the affirmation, I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Feel the radiance of your heart. Love knows no boundaries of space or time. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Try to relax the body as you hold the pose, sitting taller and taller. And feel the joy that comes as love and goodwill flow through your body. I radiate love and goodwill to soul friends everywhere. Paramhansa Yogananda said that when there is love, there is always joy. When you're ready to release, let it be slow and gradual. Maybe take a breath as you come out of the pose. We'll just take a moment here to unstep and stay neutral. You can close the eyes and lift the energy to the point between the two brows. When you're ready, fluttering eyes back open. And we'll come into our bull pose. So sending your foot right into the center of the body. And just lean over to the side and tuck the other leg behind. Toes can be pointing out, or you can fold the foot back and behind depending on what's available in your body. Good. Now you can even just twist right over to the right side. I understand that sometimes it can be very challenging to lift the arms, but if you can lift the arms, go ahead and lift, and you just slide the hands apart and come into your twisting bull pose. I remember during yoga teacher training that we were sitting on the ground for somewhere around like 10 hours a day. And we had to come up with all these creative ways to sit on the ground for that long. And the bull pose was definitely a favorite of mine. And if you like the active version, now is a good time. You press into the back palm and you reach the opposite arm up to the sky. And you can reach straight up here, reminding yourself of the affirmation for triangle pose. Joy descends to me. And feel that joy descending from your top palm down into your body. You can stay here. Some of us like to reach back over the body to really get a sense of back opening in the pose. So take as many breaths as you'd like in any version that you choose. And we're slowly going to rotate out the rest of us here. So you lean over to your right side so that you can slide that foot out of the way. We'll take both legs back to neutral position here. Good, we're going to come down onto our backs. So feel free to hold on the back side of the thighs and just kind of roll your way back and down. It can be really nice if you've never tried it before to roll vertically on the spine. And you just sort of kick your feet like you're on a swing. Be gentle with the spine. Not everybody's back enjoys this. And it really energizes the spine as you're rolling back and forth. And then one of those times we'll stay down in the ball, just rolled onto our back, resting. Close the eyes, you can rock side to side. Nice deep breathing, especially let the shoulders really connect with the ground here. Back of the head is resting, supported. And there are so many inversions that we can come into. Let's walk through maybe the simpler ones first. If you know that you like to come into a more advanced posture, then just feel free. You can come into supported shoulder stand, full shoulder stand. But for those of us who are new to the practice, the easiest inversion is a bridge pose. You're still connected with all your limbs on the ground, so you're just sending knees bent, feet onto the ground. You lift the hips and maybe set hands underneath, interlacing fingers. Some of us can go a little further and we roll our shoulders underneath and we puff up the chest here to get a big heart opening. Now, if you'd like a gentle, relaxing inversion, send your feet over your head and hold onto your calves or your ankles. And this is called tranquility pose. If you can get up into your supported shoulder stand, you push off the elbows, catch hips into the hands, and lift up. In a full shoulder stand, you just start walking the hands further up the back. So the most intense version is not always the most beneficial. So don't be shy about choosing something more gentle if that's what your body is needing. Whatever you're choosing, we're finding the long and deep and supportive breath. Close the eyes even and see what the posture has to show you in this practice today. Relax the expression and let that joy bubble up from the wellspring of your heart. Energy rising to the point between the two eyebrows. We begin to draw energy back towards the spine. So whatever posture you're in, just slowly beginning to transition back to the ground. If there's any final posture that you'd like, now is a great time. Feel free to explore. You can stay in your pose for longer if you'd like. For those of us ready to come down into Shavasana, or the final resting pose, you extend your legs out nice and long, palms facing upward. Good time to get a blanket and wrap a blanket around the body. If you're in a warm climate, just get a sheet to wrap around the body. It's not entirely for warmth, but also for insulating the energy of the body. And this is the time that we allow all the energy to start to draw deeper in to the body. So away from preoccupation with the muscles, the nerves, and the bones, we're drawing deeper and deeper into subtler realms of the body, away from the extremities, back to the core. All coming into a central ball of light right at the base of the spine. And now visualizing right in front of the spine, as you're lying on your back, there is a hollow tube of light called the Sushumna that raises. It's just in front of the physical spine. It goes all the way up to the crown of the head. And offer all this energy of your practice, this consciousness, as light right up the astral spine, the energetic spine. Feel it rising until it touches at the point between the two eyebrows, and this is where we'll rest our attention for Shavasana. You sort of just bask in the bliss and the joy of the body experience. You know, it can be an interesting inquiry to engage Mula Bandh here before you drop too deep into your Shavasana. Just lift in the pelvic floor. You might even pulse like 1 or 2 or 3 times. And with a sensitive awareness, you might get a sense that there's sort of a pulsing of energy is encouraged to lift up the spine, lift up the spine. the body is balanced energetically, there is a slight engagement of Mula Bandha at all times. It has nothing to do with the muscles, just a slight energetic presence there. Good. We'll join silent Shavasana with all the attention lifting to Agya Chakra. Before moving any part of the body, Notice the expanded state of your awareness. Notice the feeling in the heart. Let's bring the energy and attention back to the point between the two eyebrows. And here, drawing your first conscious breath, inhaling right up into the brain, the very top of your nose. Exhaling calm breath out. You can start to awaken into the muscles. Feeling the cells recharge, a sense of vitality, of grace and fluidity. Keep waking in any fashion that you'd like, if it's arms reaching up overhead along the earth, if it's knees waving side to side with feet connected to the earth. Taking your time to roll out onto the right side of the body. Maybe the right arm cradles the head a little bit. Left hand can be on the heart if that's comfortable, or resting on the earth. Let's take a nice deep inhalation here through the nose, filling the body with a sense of loving awareness. As the exhale is natural, let go of anything ready to leave your sense of being. And then as you're ready, you can slowly begin to press the hands into the ground. Use the hands to draw the body from the earth, lifting the head as the last part of the body to rise. And you come into your seat with eyes closed. And just turn the palms to face up on the lap. To the best of your personal ability, sit nice and tall. And here's the little trick, the invaluable adjustment. Relax your spine into length. Let the muscles be at ease. The expression of the face is neutral or smiling. On inhalation, let's draw all the awareness back to the point between the two eyebrows. Taking a few moments here to feel the benefits of your practice. Let's try this together before our closing prayer. Go ahead and engage Mula Bandh, the root lock, gently gathering energy from the base of the spine, and we'll watch that rise through the sacral, the navel region of the body, through the heart, through the throat, from the base of the skull, across the brain to the point between the two eyebrows. Extending awareness out beyond the physical body. Join the hands together in prayer, and we'll go ahead and draw or invite somebody into our practice that could benefit from this healing light that we are bathing in together right now. You might start with someone who you have an emotional connection with. It can be a loved one. It can even be someone who challenges you in this life. Anybody that you would like to send this loving and benevolent energy towards. Let's see them in this moment enveloped in a sense of light, and feel that light pouring down in and around this person. See their stresses and their worries evaporating, their physical ailments leaving their body, no longer relevant. Good, and we lovingly let it be. Let's rub the palms together. Keep rubbing until you feel a sense of vibration, awakening energy. There's a sweet spot where we're not pressing too hard. And we'll extend the palms out, feeling that your body is a channel for grace. This energy does not come from you, but it pours through you. Let's send Om's loving vibrations out into the world. Deep breath to begin. Extended if you feel good flow of energy coming from the palms, feeling that blessings are pouring through you into this world. Whenever you're ready, hands can come back into prayer. We take a gentle bow of our heads towards our hands, a symbolic gesture of humility. We're bowing to the place within us that is wise, that is loving, that is ever joyful. We bow to this place within ourselves, the essence of who we are. We bow to this place in each other, saying namaste, namaste. So take your time, slowly fluttering the eyes back open. Now is an ideal time for a little meditation or even just a little quiet time in your day. So try to extend the benefits of your practice out into the natural flow of this day. Thank you so much for joining. Maha love to all of you.
Have a great day, everyone.